barely 6 inches that blow traveled before it smacked against the gunman's jaw. The man's knees slumped. He fell to the floor. Howdy, frowning, puzzled, leaned over him. He took the man's weapons from their holsters, broke them, extracted the shells, and threw the brass cylinders out the door. He tossed the guns onto the bar. The white-aproned bartender was just putting away the sawed-off scattergun he had grabbed from behind the damp pine counter. "He had a hate on this morning," he said briefly, "and he'll likely be tough when he wakes up, mister. Better grab yourself a gun if you want to stick around." The bartender came out and dragged the unconscious gunman into a rear room. A bottle stood on the bar. Howdy had himself a drink and passed it on to the old man. "If that was a private fight, maybe I butted in," he said, grinning. The old man wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. "The Lord's good to me today, feller," he said piously. "I never hunt no fight, but that Luke, that sidewinder, just didn't like my looks, and I ain't waiting around till he comes to, neither." The bartender nodded. "Good idea, Holy Joe. Say," he fumbled behind the bar and produced a wadded slip of paper, tossed it to Howdy. "Maybe you dropped that while you was putting the gent to sleep." Howdy said, "Thanks." He unfolded the paper, turning away from the bar, glanced at it. He stiffened and reread the scrawl. "Howard McFee, 5'9", maybe 20, gray eyes, talks slow and quiet, rodeo rider, due at Salinas, morning of the 12th. Howdy turned to the two men. "Know who he is?" The barman shook his head. Howdy said to the old man, "You started to tell his name. Guess he was looking for me." "No, I never seen him afore in my life," the old man stuttered. The lie was obvious. Howdy let it ride. He was remembering the gunman's flashing look of recognition when he had first spoken. Howdy and Holy Joe Andrews stepped outside. "Know the Circle L near Las Palomas?" he questioned, watching the old man closely. The old-timer spat at a knothole, then turned his faded blue eyes on Howdy. "Reckon I owe you something for what you did inside there," he said. "So I'll tell you. Yeah, I know that consarned country. It's so dry back there the lizards can't spit, and the horned toads is all packed up to look for a water hole. I was prospecting north of there a while back." "So, you don't know who this gunslinging gent is? A gent who's riding this Circle L pony? Who's looking with both guns out for Howdy McFee?" The old man's eyes popped open. "Howdy McFee?" He whistled, then clamped his lips shut. Finally he said, "Nope, never seen the feller afore." What was holding him back? Fear? Howdy guessed as much, and he knew it would be a hard task to make the old man talk. He turned toward his horse. "Well," he said slowly, "I'll be moving along." Old Holy Joe seemed to be struggling within himself. He scuffed up to Howdy and leaned close to his ear. "Has anyone told you," he asked in an undertone, "how old Jason McFee came to die so sudden? Do you know he was bushwhacked on his own range in broad daylight?" Howdy gave the old man a startled look. "Bushwhacked? You're sure about that?" "Sure." Howdy pushed his sombrero back from his moist forehead and regarded the old man gravely. "Who did it?" "The devil keeps his doings under a 10-gallon hat," said Holy Joe Andrews in his cracked, solemn voice. "Leastways, I ain't never heard they pinned Jason McFee's killing on anyone." Holy Joe wagged his head. "They's queer doings back in that country," he muttered. "And you're going in Las Palomas district to find out who killed your uncle?" "I'm going in," Howdy McFee admitted. "This is the first I've heard Uncle Jace went out that way. Haven't seen him since I was about 10 years old when I spent a year on the Circle L." He grinned reminiscently, but there was a new grimness in his eyes. "I reckon you don't know this Juniper Jones that's running the Circle L now," Holy Joe Andrews stated flatly. "No," Howdy admitted. "He came after my time." Holy Joe Andrews spat on the bare ground. "He's a danged leather-hided old tarantula," he stated bitterly, "and that daughter of his is a wildcat. The Lord snatched away the milk of human kindness."